Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. So it is Tuesday the 20th of January now. So 20 days into the new year. Very, very busy with work, which is great. I've had a whole host of new people start with me, all varying different levels and whatnot. So yeah, it's really, really cool to see. I'm just going through a few new startup plans at the moment, so that's great. I wanted to announce the fact that I'm going to be starting prep in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So there's a few different shows that I want to look at. Usually around, there was a couple I was looking at in sort of April time, like 2 bros, but I think it's a little bit too early. I wanted to make sure I got the most out of this off season. Now, something I spoke about on my Instagram, how long should an off season be? Really person dependent. For me, I am in a position where I've won a fair few shows and done pretty well. You know, size isn't a thing that I'm hugely lacking. Yes, I want to be bigger, of course, a bit more quad sweep, a bit more chest, a bit more everything. It's not like I think, oh, I'm a finished article, but it's not like I'm trying to reinvent my physique. So 6 months, pretty decent. I've done 6 months pretty much throughout my whole career, 10 years of competing now. Done shorter off seasons. There's been a couple of times where I've gone a bit longer, but yeah, it always seems to work pretty well. I've always got bigger and better and whatnot. So yeah, I think it is definitely person dependent. Some people might need more muscle, some people will that, blah, blah, blah. But I'm not willing to sit out a whole year. I'm 38 years old. I don't want to be doing this right the way through my 40s. I'm not going to be a master bodybuilder. I'm not. I think I'm going to start thinking about more like healthy options throughout my 40s. So yeah. So I'm going to make the most of the time I've got when I've got it. And that's it. It's also midday and I've not fucking eaten. This is what I'm like in off season. I'm just not great at off season apparently. So yeah, it's going to be nice to go on prep and actually eat a little bit less food, be able to enjoy coffee, fizzy drinks. I love fizzy drinks, but I can never really have an off season because I haven't got enough stomach space. I've just had a big, basically a litre of water and squash and I'm stuffed. I'm so shit at off season. My calories got up to 7,000, just under 7,000. Show you what body weight that's got me to and what that's made my physique look like as well. So as I say, get these new starter plans out and then we're good to go for the day. Right, so there was a little bit of a change of plan. So I was thinking about my, what I'm going to do for this year in terms of competitions. And I was like, I want to go for shows. I started my prep last year, April. So we are now, it's basically the beginning of February. So I'm like, right, 10 months ago I did a prep. Like, is that like too soon? I'm like, no, it's okay. I want to do it, so I'm going to fucking do it. However, there's been a bit of a problem in my off season. And it's when I last had my bloods done, my blood pressure was fairly high. We tested it a few times. Also, my resting heart rate has been higher than what I'd like. So my resting heart rate, whilst I'm asleep, so literally nothing. So I'm not just talking about sitting there, I'm talking about fully asleep. Track it on my watch. It was anywhere between like 76 was the lowest and 83 was the highest. That's whilst I'm asleep. Well, I've never had that in my life. That's way too high. So I'm thinking to myself, like, is it like the stress from being in off season? Is it potential drug use? I don't really know exactly what it is, but what I do know is I don't want to start a prep whilst I'm in this position where I'm not healthy, right? So I want to get my blood pressure in check and I want to get my heart rate in check. Now I think both of them are going to happen from a little tidy up. So I've reduced cycle, that's the first thing. So now I'm just using 300 milligrams of testosterone. So I'm just running that for the next few weeks. Food's gone down in the last 2 days. So we're Wednesday today. Monday was my first low day of food. Yeah, so I don't know, I just want to make sure I'm healthy before I just jump straight back into something. So I was just going to push straight into a prep. I just don't feel like I'm properly in a position where I should. I feel like I need to be a bit more responsible. So anyway, this is day 3. So I've done 2 days. I've lost 3 kilograms already on the scales. And you know what? After one day, my resting heart rate was 65 through the night with one low day of food. That's crazy. So I dropped by an average of about roughly 15 beats per minute in one day from going low food. So yeah, it's nice. I want to get myself in a position where I actually feel, I don't feel unhealthy, but I just want to make sure. Anyway, so the food that I'm going to start on this tidy up is it's roughly, I think it's about 4,500 calories, maybe. But I'll show you what it is. We'll go through my daily food and then, yeah, you can see. I'm also going to document something about this. And that is, I've talked about it a few times, but I don't know if people really give it that much credence. I don't think people get it. They don't really get it. When you start dieting, you literally look worse. Like, this is not common knowledge. Very often you're bigger, you feel bigger, you're full, okay, great, I feel big. You start dieting and you don't get any visibly leaner. You get a slightly smaller stomach, which is nice. You don't see that much change in terms of how lean you are, and you're just getting smaller. So you start to deflate in certain areas. Your legs might be a bit smaller, shoulders, chest, everything just shrinks ever so slightly. Don't get me wrong, you haven't turned into a little wimp overnight, but you don't have that fullness, but you also don't have the leanness. So you're like not even any leaner, and you're just smaller, and you think, what the fuck? This is not good. This is not good. So I got footage of me on Monday, and I'm going to show footage of me as I'm like a week or two in, and you can see how I'm not even any better, really, and I'm just a bit smaller. So my starting weight on Monday was 133 kilograms on the nose. I actually was 135 about 2 weeks ago. So it fluctuates. It's like 133 to 135. This morning I was 130 on the nose. So that's 3 kilograms down in 2 days. Anyway, here is meal one. So I've got a bagel. And then also I've got 2 eggs and 4 bacon medallions. Now, do you know what the problem is for me is that I still don't have a great appetite. So for me, it's choosing foods that I find appetizing. And actually, yeah, this is okay. I can get this down, a little bit of hot sauce as well. Yeah, but I'm not hungry, so, it is what it is. I didn't go to bed till about 1:15, 1:30, because I ate my last meal at 12:30 at night. So I'm still struggling to get it in. But I'm sure that'll get better over time, as I drop down in weight. I think, I reckon about 125 kilo would be like a nice little weight where I can sort of like stabilize my blood pressure and heart rate, and, then I'll think about the prep from there. There's some shows I've got in mind, which I'll get through at the end of this video. Right, so I'm a little bit surprised because I actually just enjoyed food. I actually really enjoyed that. The bagel, bacon, and whatever. I'm gonna take it. Right, so that was part 1 of meal 1. Part 2 is, voila. So I've got the 5% fat faye, 250 grams of that. And normally I'll go for strawberries, but the strawberries look shit. And then the blueberries also were a little bit slim picking. So I was like, so normally it would be 100 grams of berries in that. But instead I've gone with 100 grams of grapes. They're not even going to go together. So I literally have 100 grams of grapes. Because I actually don't like in the yogurt. But anyway, whatever. So part 2 of breakfast is here. And the calories and macros for the day are there. So that's that. I'll see you for the next meal. So the faye with fat in it actually does taste better. So on its own, it's kind of all right. The one without is a little bit, I don't know. Yeah, 100 grams of grapes, sorry. Fucking 11. It's not a lot, is it? That's 100 grams. In typical me fashion, I started my food later on in the day, which always means I'm like, oh, a little bit full. But anyway, meal number 2 of the day at 12 minutes past 3. Is 115 grams of oats and 75 grams of whey. Also, a banana. But I'm going to blend it up because like I said, I'm not really hungry. I've got like 3 other meals to eat after this. So yeah, I'm not particularly hungry. So yeah, so I've got my chest and triceps today. Animal juice aminos. Oh, and of course, animal whey. Vanilla is obviously the go. I won't have it any other way. Yeah, so 3 more meals of this. So I should see you after. Pretty decent session. It wasn't one of the best, but meal number 3. Meal number 3 is 100 grams of Rice Krispies and 75 grams again of whey. And that's that. And that's that. And this is a young man that wants to say hello. many grams of protein is in you? So yeah, this is meal number 3. 4 and 5 to come later on. Okay, so meal number 4. The meal number 4 is fillet steak and 100 grams of rice. So 200 grams of fillet steak and then 100 grams of rice, which is a pack of rice. And yes, I actually use pack of rice because I genuinely prefer the taste of it. And it's fucking convenient. So, this is a little bit blasphemous, so I've got a fillet steak, and all I'm going to do is chop it up. Right. Because it cooks quicker. And I'm not doing this for a taste explosion. I'm doing this. Tastes good enough. I'm not some steak buff. Yeah, it's pretty damn good. So this will swap out for beef mince when I'm further into prep. But I find this a lot more palatable than beef mince when I'm not very hungry. But it's not very good on the bank balance. I think this is like 12 quid. When you're buying one of them every single day, it's a bit of a shitter. So it's £12 a day just on one meal, you know, and I eat 5 of them. Well, not 5 of those, but you know what I mean. So anyway, a little bit of salt. Don't at me, it's table salt. Oh, it can't be table salt. Yes, it can. It's fucking fine. And pepper. And shake it up. Give it the old fucking Jamie Oliver. So that looks just about done there. This meal literally takes about, I don't know, not fucking long. About 4 minutes to do the whole thing. Nice and easy. Wash. Wash. And again, actually, I want to address this one, table salt. People talking about the minerals or whatever. Like the trace minerals in it, I don't really give a shit. Again, people focus on like these minutiae as if they're difference maker. They're not able to stick to a plan. They don't even train hard and they don't do it, but they're like, oh, we've got to get Himalayan salt. Fuck off. Anyway, oh, almost done. So I had a choice of fruit juice. Normally I would have had this in the morning, but I didn't. I had no appetite. So I've got clementine juice or grape juice, just because I like the taste of them. Yeah, so I'm going to have one of these before I go to bed. Plus this, so I'm going to go with grape. And then that is going to be meal number 4. So a bit of a lack of vegetables in the overall diet. It's again due to the fact I'm not particularly hungry. So this is stomach volume that I don't really have. Sugar snap peas, pepper, onion. Right then, we are at 11:34 and meal number 5 is going in. Still got a little bit of this left, still not drunk at all. 100 grams of rice, nope. 250 grams of chicken, 100 grams of rice and mixed veg. Nice little bit of colour in there. And yeah, and that finishes my total for the day. As I say, I'm not hungry at all, so I'm just going to try and get this in, try and be in bed by about midnight, and then yeah, I'm ready for tomorrow. So that is that, 4,500 calories, give or take, and looks like I'm dropping pretty damn fast on that, so we'll have a little look.